Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm really excited to share this cake with you. Now, just a disclaimer, I am not, let's just say, I am not a professional baker. I have been baking since I was 10 years old. However, I took about a 20-year break from the time I was 17 until my late 30s, and have the last few years I've been getting back into baking. But to be honest, this is my very first attempt at doing a double layer cake. As you can see, it's not perfect. Yes, I ran out of icing to be able to do what they call, this is pretty much what they call a crumb coat, and I didn't have enough icing to do a second coat. So this is how it is. I'm actually quite pleased with how it turned out, and I kind of know what to do better for next time. So it is a double layer white cake, and I have put mini eggs in there, or Eggies is the Hershey's brand that I used. And my pointer to you is that if you're going to do a cake, I think I should have left it maybe for a day because it was really moist to ice this cake. So again, that was trial and error for me, and knowing better, I probably would let this just cool for the whole day and do it the following day, because when I was, you know, it started to fall apart because it's just so moist, which isn't a bad thing, but it makes it harder to decorate the cake. But it's all learning experience. I have put little eggs around the top with some whipped cream, vanilla Bavarian cream filling, so I made that. I did use a box cake to make it as easy as possible, and then I put some sprinkles on top, and I have it on this little Lazy Susan that I did get at the dollar store at Dollarama. That actually was really nice to move the cake around to ice it. So I did learn a lot doing this cake. I still wanted to share it with you guys because I did put a lot of time and effort. It isn't hard to do, it just, there's a few steps to doing this cake. But I'm really excited how it turned out. I think it's really cute. You'll see as I get through doing the cake, icing the cake, that it was so moist it was starting to fall apart, but with the power of icing, it helps bring it together. And I really hope you enjoy the video, guys. Any questions or comments, please leave them below. I really appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye. So I'm going to grease my two 9-inch round pans with some Pam there, and then I'm going to line the bottom with some parchment paper, and then I'm going to spray some of the Pam on top of that and set that to the side. I'm using a white cake mix, and these are the ingredients I will need to prepare that. Plus I'm using Eggies this time. They were a little bit cheaper than the mini eggs. So here I am just preparing the cake mix. Do that according to the directions on the box, or you could use a homemade cake mix. So I'm adding about 1.5 cups of my Eggies, and I'm folding in just till they're kind of mixed in there. And then I will be dividing the batter as evenly as possible between the two pans. I found that when it cooked, the Eggies did kind of go to the bottom, but it still turned out okay, I think. And then I'm just going to bake it according to the directions on the box. While the cakes are cooking, I'm making the Bavarian cream filling. So you need about 2 cups of whipping cream, and you want to put that, I'm using a stand-up mixer here, which makes it really great. And I'm mixing that on high until it forms stiff peaks. Now you want to add a 5-ounce package of instant vanilla pudding, and just put that gradually in while your mixer is on the low setting, and you're just pouring in that whole package of your vanilla pudding. And then I'm just kind of scraping the sides down just to make sure it's all incorporated in the whipping cream. Once your vanilla pudding's incorporated, you're going to add anywhere from 2 to 5 tablespoonfuls of milk, depending on how thick you want your filling. I ended up putting 4 tablespoonfuls, and I found that this was the perfect creamy consistency for my filling. And I'm just mixing that on the medium setting until I get it all thoroughly mixed together. I decided to taste the filling, and it is so light and yummy. It was so good, guys. So I'm just putting it in a bowl, and I'm going to refrigerate it until my cakes that are now cooked, I'm going to let them cool in the pan for 10 minutes, and then I will be taking them out of the pan after that and removing the parchment paper. Let your cakes cool down completely before you actually do the icing and decorating of your cake. And while they're cooling, I'm actually going to make the whipping cream. So I took 2 cups of whipping cream and added that to my stand-up mixer. And I'm going to actually put that on high until soft peaks form. I'm going to add a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and I'm going to just mix that on medium speed until that's mixed in. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar and mix that on high until stiff peaks form. Just going to cover and refrigerate my whipping cream, and then I put a little dab of frosting on my Lazy Susan just to place my one cake. I kind of cut the top off of the one cake to try and even it out. You can kind of see how moist it is. It is cracking a little bit, and now I'm adding very gently as possible, my Bavarian cream filling, and you can see it's so delicate here. So it was a learning experience, but I'm just carefully going around and adding it, and it just is like a glue and sticks it together. But once I started going and putting it all around, it did bring the cake together, and this filling is really amazing. It's not very sweet at all, guys, but it is quite creamy and delicious. And now I'm adding my other layer of cake with the bottom side up, and I know it looks kind of weird because you see all the eggies and you see that big crack, but yeah, the icing will bring it together. And I ended up putting my icing in the microwave for about 15 seconds just to make it a little easier to ice the top of my cake. And I'm just going around really gently with my angled spatula here and just trying to be as gentle as I can, as this is all a new thing for me, icing a cake. And I like this Lazy Susan because it made it go around really easy. And I'm just going around the cake and trying to make it as even as possible. And then I will go around the outside, and one can of frosting just wasn't enough, so I would have needed to do a full second coat on my cakes. But otherwise, I thought it looked really good. It's quite delicious, guys. And here it is, me trying to smooth everything out. Now the fun part, we get to decorate the cake, and I'm just using a tall glass, and I got a disposable piping bag with the, I don't know, the star-shaped tip, and I'm just going around. This is the first time I've ever done this, and I was quite happy with myself that it turned out. And I'm just going around piping some of the whipped cream that I made around the top of the cake and just doing little rosettes, I guess you could call it. Then I'm placing one little egg in the center of each of the little whipped cream rosettes, and then I'm going to actually add a dollop of that whipped cream in the center of the cake, and I've added 3 more little eggies on top. And then I'm just adding some pastel colored sprinkles, and just to kind of, since it's Easter time, just to add a nice little decorative touch. And I think it looks really nice and pretty. So I decided I'm just going to go around the bottom of the cake and just decorate it with the whipped cream and just kind of make it look a little better. So here is the finished cake. Derek ended up having 2 large pieces. I had a piece, which I shouldn't have, but I couldn't help myself. It actually was a very good cake. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Please leave me any questions or comments that you have. I appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.